So today I want to cover the topic of mix-ups and set play. I'm going to do 3 examples. I'm going to show you a mid-screen options off of jump fierce kick, or a jump roundhouse after standing medium kick. I'm going to show you a couple options off of dash punch. I'm going to show you a couple options off of throw, forward throw in particular. And this is all going to be cornered against Ken, because different characters have different timings. And they also have different things that you have to memorize as to frame kills. So for Ken's frame kill off of dash punch is crouching medium kick, medium punch twice immediately. Now that forces him to get up into a situation where he has to guess between high-low throw. Now, depending on your meter, depends on if your opponent's going to think that you're going to be going high more often than not, or if you're going to be going low. Obviously, every person has different tendencies at different situations. So, your options in this particular situation that we're going to cover are lows, are crouching light kick, dash punch, crouching medium kick, dash punch, crouching medium kick into Zempo tension, whether it is blocked or hit, standing medium kick into dash punch, standing medium kick into jump fierce kick. Standing medium kick is basically the mix-up, but you know, you can get basic engaging combos off of standing medium kick in certain situations. Standing medium punch into light kick into dash punch. Standing medium punch delay shoulder. Crouching light kick shoulder. Neutral jump, fierce kick, dive kick, crosses up, and then it's a combo. Sorry, medium kick, dive kick is a combo on quick rise. And then you have simple cross-up dive kick ticks into Zempo tension to put them back in the corner. The point is here you have a lot of options. You have standing fierce punch into, shoulder. You have crouching light kick to stop guard jumping into close standing medium kick. If they guard jump, you just have just Zempo tension as well. Zempo tension. You have walk forward throw. You have tick throw. So your opponent has to make a very quick decision. Do I want to block? Do I want to try to parry? Do I want to try to throw? Do I want to try to jump? Now guard jump covers 2 of these options. It covers meaty blocks and it covers jump. You can watch Nika KO's video on that. But essentially, even if your opponent knows how to do this, you can abuse that by delaying your buttons, since the input for that makes them jump no matter what. And you can actually knock someone out of the air on the first few frames of their jump before they can actually parry. So, walk back out of throw range slightly into standing medium kick is something that is very good. And is something that you'll see a lot of high-level yuns in Japan do. But in these situations, you're constantly showing your opponent the exact same situation. So that's why this is called a set play. Now, a set play, the way that I define it, is the ability to create a situation that your opponent has to react to, but you have full control over. So what that means is, let's say you are in the corner and then you forward throw your opponent. You can do the dive, super jump, fierce kick, dive kick as late as possible and hit them. You can do delayed light kick, dive kick as late as possible, be out of throw range and be in perfect range for a crouch medium kick, dash punch. You can do the same sort of situation where you're in perfect range for stand fierce. So you have a lot of different options off of the same situation. You have whiff dive kick, medium kick, dive kick into combo. So I'm not going to go into every single option off of these setups right now, but I just want to showcase that, you know, it's the same exact situation. It's, you know, you're showing your opponent, okay, dive kick. Now, the opponent can, in response to these, quick rise or not. If your opponent doesn't quick rise, that turns into 3 crouching medium punches, as opposed to 2. Now, you have the option to change certain situations. You know, there's plenty of different options here as to what you can do. But it's the same concept that you're always trying to set up the same situation, which forces your opponent to react in a certain way. And the most easy way to do that is with things like frame kills off of this. You can change up, you know, your jump trajectories, you can do a bunch of other things. So like off of forward throw in the corner, you have delay fierce kick dive kick, which crosses up. You have delay medium kick dive kick, which crosses up, and it should combo. I forget which one combos. Okay, fierce kick combo off of that situation when you delay it. You have normal jump delay standing light kick. Sorry. You have normal jump delay light kick dash dive kick into stand light kick dash punch. So that's something they have to respect. So because you have different options at the exact same timings, your opponent has to guess between a forward parry, a back parry, well, technically just parrying in the opposite direction. They also have to guess if they're going to, you know, just block high, or if they're going to get hit by that. You can also immediately dive kick to set up a meaty situation. So you can set up a bunch of different options off of the same situation, which your opponent has to have reactions to no matter what, right? And you're in full control, because after a forward throw, you can either dash up and then whiff a button and get the same situation that you would off of a dash punch. So you get this. Into a situation where, because this hits, right? Let's say you get well, you're at full meter then. And now Ken's almost dead and you have 25% meter or so, right? So that's just an example of if Yun gets 2 successful set plays or 2 successful mix-ups, he basically is going to be close enough to Ganejin that you're going to have to make decisions based on their tendencies if they like to go high or low more, because you can get Ganejin off of crouching light, medium kick, etc., etc. So there's a lot of things that your opponent has to juggle in their head. So off of this, you know, you have all the different options that I covered. And then you have, you know, dash punch into etc. They have to they have to respect basically all of your options. Jumping light medium kick is also something that is pretty decent at certain ranges, because it does combo into standing light kick. It also has slightly different timing than jumping fierce kick, so you do get the same outcome as you would the jumping fierce kick, you know, into whatever. The other thing is, when you do dash punch, you don't really want to be jumping unless you want to do a dive kick mix-up. Because if you do a dive kick mix-up, you want to be doing fast moves afterward. You want to, you know, be throwing. You want to be mixing things up no matter what you're doing. So off of this same situation, you have light kick, dive kick, throw, light kick, dive kick, crouching, light kick, dash punch. You have, you know, walk back and, you know, make them whiff throw, hit them with fierce. But the idea is that you want to try and get them into a loop where you're either getting a throw into another mix-up, into another opportunity, and that's what you're trying to string together, is these things that will give you the best risk-reward for your ability to continue pressure, whether it works or not. So let's say your opponent blocks. Let's make them block, right? So quick stand on, all guard. Now let's get him to the corner. So let's say you get your dive kick, right? Or your throw. If they're going to block, you have other options, right? So let's say they block crouching light kick, right? You're at perfect range for palm. They're at perfect range for crouching medium kick. So you want to be, you know, trying to beat them to the punch and getting your hit confirm in. You know, you're at perfect range for universal overhead, which is something they have to respect. So even when they block certain situations, you know, they have to respect that you have a lot of different options at that range that are relatively safe. So even if your set play goes awry, you're going to end up in a situation in most cases where you're still not negative, but you're back at neutral. And like, you can wait for your opponent to make a mistake, or, you know, you can try to force your way in. Obviously, try to do it as intelligently as possible. But yeah, so those two situations are almost identical. Is like, you can throw and then you can jump and then hit them in the front. You can throw and then jump and hit them in the back. You can throw, frame kill, super jump, cross up, and then, you know, because it hits high on the shoulder, you're going to be forced to like try to tick throw or something, but you do have a lot of options. Other than, that's another thing, is like whip dive kick in their face, and then you have meaty timing. So you can get meaty timing in a bunch of different ways. So it's just conditioning your opponent to sort of expect to start to see a certain thing, and then making them react to seeing that same situation. So now I'm going to showcase the way that Lloyd best explained set play / mix-ups to me for this character. Is that, let's say your opponent is Ken, right? So Ken is your opponent. You have a couple options here. If you instantly do jump fierce kick, it puts you at a range where no matter what, you're not throwing. You're at perfect range for Zen potential now. So you have to delay it because you land before them, right? So you have the ability to do the extended, like the way that you would mix someone up for the block Zen potential, like the option select Zen potential off of this. So they have to worry about this, right? Then they also have to worry about landing into crouching medium kick. Oh shit. Let's change that again. They have to worry about landing into standing medium kick. They have to worry about landing into standing fierce punch into shoulder. they have to worry about throw, or a parry throw, because you have the ability to option parry when you land. And in this situation, Ken's not really going to be in a position where doing lows is going to make a difference. So his most likely reactions to this are going to be parry block, which is input parry and then immediately block, or he's just going to block, or like block low, because you don't really have any options off of your highs that really are devastating to him. Or he's going to try to parry and then throw you. Normally forward parry. So you can abuse this, because you can change the trajectory based on the timing by which you hit them. So if you hit them immediately, because you land first, you can still be out of throw range. And if their go-to option is to try and throw you, you know, you're out of range. They don't even have Kara throw. So it's not like you have to worry about Chun-Li, Kara throwing you, etc. Like, so this sort of situation does change based on the character, obviously. But the same sort of principle, you know, applies. Do you want to be further away? You want to be further away and then come in? You know, do you want to be right in their face afterward to get the three-way guess? You know, it's very systemic, right? You have this and then three-way guess. And then you have three-way guess. And then you have, you know, three-way guess. Oh, he jumped. Is he going to land in front? Is he going to land in back? It's a lot of things that you have to juggle. And figuring out what works for you is important. So one of my issues is that when I'm playing against people, I like this, to do crouching medium punch, or crouching medium kick into stand fierce. Now, I get blown up for it all the time. I also like to do crouching medium kick into dash punch, or into shoulder, you know, like that. Especially when I'm at very high meter, it's something that the opponent's going to be looking for, right? So that's when, you know, you have delay, you have a bunch of different options. So, like, I don't really use them as much. I usually stick to, you know, double low or low high, which is my own fault. It's a bad tendency. It's something I have to fix. But, I guess to my credit, if this hits twice, you're almost like an agent. If you hit your opponent with 3 fierces, you're above 60, 65, 70%, you're almost like an agent, right? So, even if your opponent blocks, you're still pushed back far enough that you're in no real danger, and you still are put back in a neutral where, you know, that's where you can start to make decisions again. So, tendencies are bad, usually. Unless, you know, this tendency right here starts to force them to high block, high parry. So, let's do this exact same situation. Let's put them in the corner. So, let's say I condition my opponent to think that I'm going to be hitting them high after a blocked crouching medium kick, whether it's shoulder or a stand fierce. That opens up Zempo tension. It opens up hit confirm. It opens up delay, standing medium kick, right? It opens up walk forward throw, So once your opponent sees this a couple times, they're going to be reacting to as if you're going to be doing that all the time. So if your opponent, let's say I have the tendency of doing, you know, dash punch, crouching light kick, lows, right? Throwing in the command throw fucks with them if they think that you're always going to be going low. So if you show them the same situation where you have the same answer multiple times, it is a risk for yourself, but it's also putting in their head that, okay, I should probably be down parrying here, or okay, I need to block here, as opposed to, you know, I need to try and not get hit with standing medium kick to let them grenade in, etc., etc. So everything is sort of tied together. Now, one of the other people that I talked to was talking about how people squander their opportunities after Super Art 3 with Ken. So Nika KO has a very good video on this, but I'm just going to cover, you know, a very basic premise. Now, let's make that max. If you do this, frame kill, and then jump forward, you're going to hit in the front. Walk forward a step, you cross up. Right? So you can also combine that with the fact that you can whiff normals in the air to get certain trajectory changes. You can do the same thing with God damn it. You can do the same thing with God damn it. There we go. That's something that like not a lot of people can do though, is the hit confirm there, because it's a late cancel. It's not like a you can't do. It's not a cancel. It's a link. So as you can see, he's far away, but after so the other thing that you have to understand is that after Ken's super, right, your opponent cannot quick rise. They can't. So you're going to get the same exact situation against your opponent every single time. Right? So this gives you the opportunity to mix up what you're doing. Do you want to take a step back and then go forward and then jump in? Do you want to... Actually, let's change this. Do you want to hit in front? Do you want to hit in back? Do you want to, you know, barely cross up with your whatever? Do you want to tick throw afterward? You know, there's you have a lot of options. Like whiff. Let's say you have 2 meters and you whiff that and then you go low, like more often than not when your opponent wakes up, they're going to be trying to block your jump in. So that's what you have to abuse. Whether it's, you know, delaying and then hitting them in front, delaying, hitting them in back, delaying, neutral jump, empty jump. Like, you have the same exact situation that you can abuse as anything else. And because your opponent is going to be waking up and they're forced to eat the mix-up, that's when you have the most influence on your opponent's choices. And it's also where you have the most control on the outcome of this. So if you do this situation once, and then you walk forward, and then you, do that, the next time that you walk forward, they're not going to expect, very delayed jump fierce kick, which if they even are capable of blocking it, if you do it correctly, you can't be punished for it, even if they parry it. So keeping yourself safe, knowing what situations are, best for you. So as an example, let's say that you're a very high life and your opponent, your opponent's in this exact situation. Would you want to try and cross up? Or would you rather not and then make them eat the mix-up of high-low throw? Right? Because if they're crouching here, they're going to eat back medium kick into super. Right? So you have a lot of options to make sure that you're still pressuring your opponent into the corner, which gives you the best option to continue your pressure. And that's the best that I can explain that without going too in depth. So I hope that helps. And fuck someone up.